Hello guys, my name is Jade Julio Sagarino from 1B C2-2, and this presentation will serve as a quiz for our Math 171 Differential Calculus subject. So first things first, for the historical backgrounds of calculus, some of the ideas of calculus can be found in the works of ancient Greek mathematicians at the time of Archimedes and in the works of the early 17th century of René Descartes, Pierre de Fermat, John Wallis, and Isaac Barrow. However, the invention of calculus is often attributed to Sir Isaac Newton and Gottfried Wilhelm Leibniz, because they began the generalization and unification of the subject. There were other mathematicians of the 17th and 18th century who joined in the development of the calculus. Some of them were Jacob Bernoulli, Johann Bernoulli, Leonhard Euler, and Joseph L. Lagrange. However, it wasn't until the 19th century that the processes of calculus were given sound foundation by such mathematicians as Bernard Bolzano, Agustin Alcocci, Karl Weierstrass, and Richard Dedekind. A function is a set of ordered pairs of numbers in which no two distinct ordered pairs have the same first number. The set of all admissible values of x is called the domain of the function, and the set of all resulting values of y is called the range of the function. In this definition, the restriction that no two distinct ordered pairs can have the first number ensures that y is unique for a specific value of x. The symbols x and y denotes variables because the value of y is dependent on the choice of x. X denotes the independent variable and y denotes the dependent variable. If f is the function having domain variable x and range variable y, the symbol f of x denotes a particular value of y that corresponds to the value of x. The notation f of x is called a function value is due to the Swiss mathematician and physicist Leonhard Euler. So we compute f of x for some specific value of x. So in this equation, right here, f of x is equal to square root of x minus 2. So, ang sinasabi, f of 3 is equal to x minus 2. So, we substitute 3 to the value of x. So, meaning, ang magiging equation na niya is right here. F of 3 is equal to 3 minus 2. So, meaning, 3 minus 2 is equal to 1. So, square root of 1 is 1. So, that will be our final answer. Same method dito lang sa f of 6. We substitute 6 for the value of x. So, 6 minus 2 is 4. Square root of 4 is 2. Same lang rin dito. Same method. Substitute value 9 to the value of x. So, 9 minus 2 is 7. So, our final answer is square root of 7. In this lesson, operations on functions, new functions may be formed from given functions by adding, subtracting, multiplying, and dividing function values. Accordingly, these new functions are known as the sum, difference, product, and quotient of the original functions. So in this lesson, meron tayong mga formula na gagamitin for finding specific answers to our question. If we are if sum is asked for our questions, we will use this formula. F plus g quantity of x is equal to f of x plus g of x. Pag naman difference, ito naman gagamitin natin. F minus g quantity of x is equal to f of x minus g of x. Pag naman product, ganun din. Ito din ang gagamitin natin. F times g quantity of x is equal to f of x times g of x. Pag quotient, f divide g quantity of x is equal to f of x divided by g of x, wherein g of x should not equal to 0. Kasi pag nag-equal to 0 yung g of x natin, magiging undefined ang ating sagot. So, on our we have a question here, right here. Tapos ang letter A natin, f plus g. So we substitute the value of f of x to f, and value of g of x to g. So and on our final answer should look like this, quantity square root of x plus 1 plus quantity square root of x minus 4. Simply, we substitute the value of f of x to the value of f, and g of x to the value of g. Ganun din sa pag-minus. Pag difference naman hinahanap natin, we substitute the value of f of x to value of f, and we substitute the value of g of x to g. And ganun din sa may product. Pag hinahanap natin product, ganun din, we substitute the value, which is value of f of x, which is square root of x plus 1, multiplied by value of g of x, which is square root of x minus 4. Dito naman sa quotient, kaya sinabi kanina wherein g of x should not equal to 0, kasi pag nag-equal to 0 yun, magiging undefined ang ating sagot. So on our composite functions, given the two functions f and g, the composite function denoted by f times g is defined by f times g quantity of x is equal to f of g of x. The definition indicates that when computing f times g of x, we first apply function g to x, then function f to g of x. So let's have an example. So f of x is equal to square root of x, and g of x is equal to 2x minus 3. So we have to find f of g of x. So simply, we will use this equation, square root of x, and then pag nasulat na natin yung equation na square root of x, we substitute x to the value of g of x, kasi f of g of x yung hinahanap natin. So ang magiging sagot 2x minus 3. So next example, we have to find ang f of x natin is equal to 5 over x minus 2, and g of x is equal to 2x plus 1. We need to find f of g of x. So pwede nating mas madaliin, f of g of x, ang ano natin ay 2x plus 1. Tapos yung ano natin, f of x, gawin nating functions lang related kanina. Diba? It look like something like this. F of 2x plus 1 is equal to 5 over x minus 2. Ang ginawa natin kanina, sinasubstitute natin yung value ng f of 2x plus 1 sa x. So, ang magiging sagot natin, 5 over 2x plus 1 minus 2. 2x plus 1 minus 2. And we can simplify it. So, 5. Nakalimutan ko. Sorry, that was my bad. Ang hinahanap natin ay f of g of 3. So, sa bandang huli, isa-substitute natin yung value ng x sa 3. So, that will be, ang sagot natin sa may f of g of x is this one. 5 over 2x minus 1. So, pag sinubstitute natin yung value ng 3, that will be 5 over 2 times 3, which is 6 minus 1, 5 is equal to 5. So, overall, 5 over 5 is equal to 1. And that will be our final answer. Sorry po sa mga aso. I can't help. So, moving on, for our third example, f of x is equal to x cubed, and g of x is equal to 4x plus 1. So we again find f times g of x, I mean quantity x, is equal to f of g of x. So first, we substitute the value of g of x to 4x plus 1. So f o quantity 4x plus 1, and then we substitute 4x plus 1 to the value of f of x, which is x cubed. So that will be 4x plus 1 quantity cube. So pag sinimplify natin, sinolve natin yung cubing of binomials, our final answer will be 64x cubed plus 48x squared plus 12x plus 1. And that should be our final answer. So we are on now on limits. So let f be a function defined at every number in some open interval containing a except possibly at the number itself. The limit of f of x as x approaches a is L, written as limit of f of x is equal to limit of f of x as x approaches a is equal to L. So there are a lot of various theorems regarding limits, and so limit theorem 1, or limit of a linear function, if m and b are any constants, so limit of m times x plus b as x approaches a is equal to m multiplied by a plus b. So let's have an example or an illustration. So limit of 3x plus 5 as x approaches 2. So we basically substitute 2 to the value of x, and that will lead us to 3 multiplied by 2 plus 5 is equal to 11, and 11 will be our final answer. So on theorem 2, limit of a constant, if c is a constant, then for any number a, so it can be written as limit of c as x approaches a is equal to c. Limit theorem 3, limit of identity function, limit of x as x approaches a is equal to a. So basically magkamukha lang sila. Ang pinagkaiba lang yung theorem 2, meron siyang constant sa meron siyang constant na 7, and yung x natin as approaches 5, wala naman siyang masasubstitute na x, kaya hindi na natin siya isa-substitute kasi wala nga. Hanap ka lang wala, di ba? Sorry. Then pinagkaiba sa theorem 3 naman, limit of x as x approaches negative 6, wala siyang constant na nakatulad ng 7, and ito lang yung niya, yan lang yung tawag dito, equation niya. So ang magiging sagot niyan na lang, negative 6, yung na lang tawag dito, yung as x approaches negative 6 na lang magiging sagot. Yan. So on limit theorem 4, limit of the sum and difference of two functions, if limit of f of x as x approaches a is equal to L, and limit of g of x as x approaches a is equal to m, then limit of f of x plus or minus g of x as x approaches a is equal to L plus or minus m. So let's have an example wherein f of x is equal to x and g of x is equal to 8, wherein limit of f of x as x approaches 3 plus limit of g of x as x approaches 3. So substitute natin yung value ng f of x sa here, and we will have limit of f of x as x approaches 3, tapos substitute din natin yung g of x sa value yung which is 8. So limit of 8 is equal to x approaches 3. So magiging unang sagot natin dito, limit of x, substitute natin yung 3 sa value ng x, and that will give us 3. And dito naman, apply natin yung constant constant, limit of a constant, which is theorem 2 right here. So ang magiging sagot is A, 8. I mean 8. So 3 plus 8 should give us 11, and that will be our answer. So dito naman tayo sa limit theorem 6, wherein limit of the product of two functions. If limit of f of x as x approaches a is equal to L, and limit of g of x as x approaches a is equal to m, then limit of f of x times g of x as x approaches a will be equal to L times m. So let's have an example. Limit of x as x approaches 4 is equal to 4, and limit of x up as x, I mean limit of 2x plus 1 as x approaches 4 is equals to 9. So ang mangyayari ay mamumultiply natin yung both functions, which is indicated sa may formula natin. So that will be limit of x as x approaches 4 is equal to x quantity 2x plus 1. So substitute natin yung value ng 4. So makakakuha tayo ng 4 here, 4 dito, and that 4 tapos 2x plus 2, 2 tapos 4, lipat natin dito, 4 plus 1. Yan ay magiging equation natin, and will give us 4 times 8 plus 1, or simplify 4 times 9 and 4 times 9 is equal to 36, and 36 is our final answer. So dito naman tayo sa limit theorem 7, wherein limit of the quotient of two functions. If limit of f of x as x approaches a is equal to L, and limit of g of x as x approaches a is equal to m, then limit of f of x over g of x as x approaches a is equal to L over m, wherein m is not 0, where is not equal to 0. So limit of x is equal to 4, example natin to and limit of negative 7x plus 1 is equal to negative 27. So we substitute, or we substitute the value of x, 4 to value of x on our two functions. So we get, ano muna natin sila, gagayahin natin tong formula na to, papasok natin lang, isa-substitute natin yung value ng two functions na yun. So ang f of x natin ay 4, tapos ang g of x natin ay negative 7x plus 1. As x approaches, sorry sa sulat sir, 4. So para masimple ang gawa, i-substitute muna natin ang value ng 4 sa x. So will give us an equation like this. Paano maglilid dyan? So effortlessly, ang f of x natin ay 4, constant na naman siya, x yung ano natin, and sinubstitute natin yung 4, magiging yung x natin magiging 4, tapos negative 7x, negative 7 times 4 plus 1. Yan, kasi limit as x approaches 4. So negative 7 times 4 is equal to 28 plus 1. Negative 7 times 4 is equal to negative 28 plus 1 will give us negative 27, and our answer will be negative 4 over 27. So on to our limit theorem of trigonometric functions. If a is any number in the domain of the corresponding trigonometric function, then limit of sin x as x approaches a is equal to sin a, limit of cosine x as x approaches a is equal to cosine a, and limit of tangent x as x approaches a is equal to tangent a. Limit of cosecant x as x approaches a is equal to cosecant a. Limit of secant x as x approaches a is equal to secant a. Limit of cotangent x as x approaches a is equal to cotangent a. So, meron tayong mga formula dito na given na na solve, never mind. Kailangan natin yan para ma-identify natin yung tamang sagot at hindi maging undefined yung sagot natin. So, that is limit of sine x over x as x approaches 0 is equal to 1. Limit of 1 minus cosine x over x as x approaches 0 is equal to 0, and limit of tangent x over x as x approaches 0 is equal to 1. Yan ay makailangan natin. So, kailangan nating i-memorize yan at matutulungan tayo yan in the future pag naka-encounter tayo ng mga limit theorem of trigonometric functions na problem. So, let's have an example regarding our limit theorem of trigonometric functions. So, we have limit of sine quantity x squared minus 1 over x minus 1 as x approaches 0. So, una, substitute natin yung value ng 0 sa corresponding variables natin na x. So, substitute natin dito 0 squared minus 1 and 0 minus 1. So, that will give us negative 1 over negative 1, and which is equal to 1. Tapos, so, magiging sagot natin is sine 1. Hindi naman undefined yung sagot natin, and that is correct. Here, let's stay here. So, sa my second example naman natin, which is limit of 1 minus cosine x over sine x as x approaches 0. So, try nating i-substitute yung yung value natin, yung 0 sa x variable. So, 1 minus cosine x, substitute natin yung 0, sine over sine 0, and that will give us 1 minus 1 is equal to 0. And magiging sagot natin yung 0 over 0, which is undefined. Bawal yan. So, we will find another way. Pwede natin gawin na 1 minus cosine x over sine x. Pwede natin siyang i-multiply sa 1 over x over 1 over x. Pwede natin siyang i-multiply diyan para makita natin yung sagot. Kasi para yung formula na pinakita ko kanina, which is ito. Asa ba yun? Here, ito. Kailangan natin ma-achieve yan para makuha natin yung sagot. Wait. Yan. So, yung natin kanina, 1 minus cosine x, ay, mali ang pangit yung sulat ko. Sorry. 1 minus cosine x over sine x. Pwede natin i-multiply sa 1 over x, 1 over x. Sorry sa sulat, sir. Kaya natin minultiply kasi pwede natin siya i-multiply sa 1, and 1 over x over 1 over x is equal to 1. So, pag minultiply na natin yan, ito yung magiging makukuha nating sagot. 1 minus cosine x over x and sine x over x. So, na-achieve ba natin? Yes, na-achieve natin yung formula, which is yung 1 minus cosine x over x is equal to 0. Tapos yung sine x over x is equal to 1. And ang magiging sagot natin ay 0 over 1. Kaya ang 0 over 1 ay valid siya, valid. Kasi ang defined value. Yan. Next. So, on our third example, hindi kasama yung 0 over 0 na yan. So, limit of sine 3x over sine 5x as x approaches 0. So, try natin i-substitute. Pag sinubstitute natin yung 0 sa value ng x, magiging 0 yung sagot, magiging undefined na naman. So, we need to find a way para hindi maging undefined yung limit natin. So, sine 3x over sine 5x, we can times it, multiply it by 1, which is 1 over x over 1 over x. And that will give us sine 3x over sine 5x over x. So, ang gagawin natin sunod, multiply ulit natin sila ng 1 para makuha natin yung maging malapit yung sagot natin. At para makuha natin yung formula kanina na yung sin x over x, which is 1. So, mangyayari sin 3x times 3 out of 3 ay may over x dito. So, magiging sin 3 sin, kasi minultiply din natin yung itong 3 sa sin 3x. Sin 3x over 3x. Ay, wala pa lang. May 3x. Dapat yan, 3x yan. Na-time po lang po. Then, ganun din sa kabila. Sin 5x. Sin x over x. Sin 5x over x times 5 times 5, and that will give us, may paepal, and yan, i-multiply ulit natin 5 sin 5x over 5 over x. So ayan na, lumalapit na yung sagot natin. So pag may constant na ganon, yan, yung sin 3x over 3x natin ay equivalent na sin x over x, which is equal to 1. So 3 times 1, yun na yung gagawin natin. Ganon din sa kabila, sin 5x over 5x is equal na rin sa 1. So ang magiging sagot natin ay 3 over 5, kasi ang ginawa natin, equal na sa 1 yung dalawang natin, trigonometric expressions, naging equal na siya sa 1. Kaya 3 times 1 is equal to 3, 5 times 1 is equal to 5. And 3 over 5 is our final answer. So, infinite discontinuity is a type of essential discontinuity where one or both of the one-sided limits go towards infinity. So, infinite discontinuity ay isang uri ng discontinuity na nangyayari kapag meron siyang vertical asymptote, tapos yung one side niya is going towards infinity, yung point niya. So let's have an example wherein f of x is equal to 1 over x minus 2. So we find our x, so that will be x minus 2 should not be equal to 0 because that's the point of discontinuity. So x is equal to 2 because we transmute negative 2 to the other side, so we change its sign. So x should not be equal to 2, and so x should not be equal to 2. So that's our point of discontinuity and vertical asymptote, and our vertical asymptote. So negative 2 is our vertical asymptote, and we have an infinite discontinuity wherein the graph of this infinite discontinuity looks like something like this. Ayan, yung point na yan ay patungo sa walang hanggan. So move on to our next example. Ayan. So f of x is equal to 3 quantity x plus 2 over x plus 2 quantity x minus 5. So Kung mapapansin nyo sa equation natin, pwede natin i-cancel out yung x plus 2 tsaka x plus 2. So that will leave us a 3 over x minus 5. So x minus 5 should not be equal to 5 kasi katulad ng ginawa natin kanina. X minus 5 should not be equal to 0 transpose magiging x over 5. So anytime it is associated with a vertical asymptote, it is an infinite discontinuity. Yeah, and for the third example, pwede natin gawin to. Yung function natin ay merong specific value, yung x. So f of x is equal to 1 over x minus 4 quantity squared, wherein x is equal to 4. So f of 4 is equal to 1 over 4 minus 4 quantity squared. So is equal to 1 over 0. Undefined. Undefined. Paano naging undefined? 4 minus 4. PEMDAS muna tayo. Parenthesis muna. 4 minus 4 is equal to 0. 0 squared is 0 and 1 over 0 is undefined. So, ano naman tayo? Pwede natin gawing limits para malaman natin kung positive or negative yung infinity, yung point of discontinuity. So, limit of x plus 4 is substitute ulit natin yung 4 sa value ng 4 to 4 value ng x. So that will give us a bakit naging positive infinity? Kasi I squared to ini-squared niya yung yung 0 minus 4 ayun. Ano to pala? Mali pala ako. I mean 0 yung x approaches 0 yan. So x, sinabstitute yung value ng 0 sa x, maging 0, 0 minus 4, negative 4. Tapos, in-squared yung diba? Ano ka ngayon? Plus, positive 8. So, pataas yung natin, yung point. Tapos, ang point of discontinuity natin ay positive 4. Limit at infinity if the values of f of x becomes arbitrarily close to L as x becomes sufficiently large, we say the function f has a limit at infinity and write as limit of f of x is as x approaches infinity is equal to L. To evaluate the limits of infinity for a rational function, we divide the numerator and denominator by the highest power of x, appearing in the denominator. This determines which terms in the overall expression dominates the behavior of the function at large values of x. So, as sinabi na we should be divide the numerator and denominator by the highest power of x. So, ang highest power natin ay 3x squared at 5x squared. I-divide natin sila pareho, magkakaroon tayo ng 3 over 5. Kasi kakancel na lang natin yung variables nila. So, and then, next example. Limit of square root of 3x squared plus 4 over x plus 6. So, bakit naging, siya? 3 of x. So, first, we divide by the highest denominator power, and we get 3x squared plus 4 over x lipat ko over x ayusin natin 3x squared plus 4 over x all over 1 over 1 plus 6 over x. Then we'll have limit of, and then we find the limits of both the numerator and denominator. So limit of x approaches infinity of 3x quantity 3 I mean square root of 3x squared plus 4 over x over sec 1 plus 6 over x. We get on the numerator we get square root of 3 over 1. So that will lead us to uh, yan. I mean wala nang variable kasi yun na yung high tinanggal na natin kasi dinivide na natin siya sa highest value, highest power ng variable. So magiging quantity 3 na lang siya, wala nang x dyan. That's a type of graphic error. Then third example, ganun lang din gagawin natin. I-divide lang natin sila, tatanggalin natin yung variable nila, then we get 1/2. 8 over 16 is a 1/2. Then that's our final answer. So dito naman tayo sa continuity. The function f is said to be continuous at the number a if only and only if the following three conditions are satisfied. Number 1, the first condition, f of a should exist. Secondly, limit of f of x as x approaches a exists also. And third and lastly, limit of f of x as x approaches a it should be equal to f of a. So let's have an example right here. We have three functions. Square root of x plus 2, x squared minus 2 if x square root of x plus 2 if x is less than 2, and x squared minus 2 if 2 is less than equal to x and less than to 3, and 2x plus 5 if x is greater than equal to 3. So firstly, we will use these functions because let's solve for 2 first. We will use these two functions right here. So kasi sinasabi na x is less than 2, so it can never be 5 or what else. So sinasabi, ang una natin gagawin ng functions ay pinakamalapit muna, x is less than 2 and x is 2 should not be less than equal to x. So we will use these functions first. So that will be f of 2 nakasulat na pala. Ito yon. F of 2 is equal to 2 squared minus 2 is equal to 2. 2 squared is 4 minus 2 is equal to 2. So we will find the limit of x so we will find the limit of x as approaches limit of f of x as x approaches to the left side, and limit of f of x as x approaches to the right side. So that will be, we will find the left side first. Hanapin muna natin yung left side. So ito ang function na gagamitin natin. So that will be square root of 2 plus 2 is equal to 2 kasi square root of 2 plus 2 is equal to 4, and square root of 4 is equal to 2. And our left side is 2, and ito naman sa right side, ito yung gagamitin natin, itong function na to kasi 2 is greater than equal to x. So 2 squared minus 2, ganun din magiging sagot. 2 times 2, 2 squared, 4 minus 2 is equal to positive 2. Ayan. So, sa third step, observation na lang yung hahanapin natin. So, ma-observe naman natin na lahat sila ay equal to 2. So, limit of f of x as x approaches 2 is equal to f of 2 is indeed equal to 2. And our function is continuous. Yes, very continuous, right? So let's have another example. G of x is equal to 1 over x minus 2 and g of x is equal to 3. They are not both equal to, their x is not equal to 2. So, firstly, first step, hanapin natin yung g of x. So, g of x is equal to 3 kasi yun na yung gagamitin natin. And, hanapin natin yung right side tsaka yung left side. So, right side as x approaches negative 2. Ayun yung ano natin. Ay, mali. Yung ano natin. Yung limit of g of x as x approaches 2. Ito yung gagamitin nating function. 1 over 2 minus 2 is equal to 0. That will be negative infinity. And limit of 2x as limit of g of x as x approaches 2. And then ulit yung gagamitin natin ano kasi x minus 2 is should not be equal to 0. Tapos transpose lang ulit. Ayun na. X is not equal to 2. So, mapapansin natin na yung kanina lang ano siya, 'di ba? Infinite discontinuity. So, itong ano natin ay hindi siya continuous, isa siyang infinite discontinuity. Ayan. Tapos, ang graph niya ay look like something like this. 1, 2, ayun. Tapos yung y natin 3. 1, 2, 3. Ayan siya. Wait. Mali. Ulitin natin. Ang graph niya would look like something like this. Ayan. Gandaan natin. Bagya. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2. Oh, ito yung 3, which is this one. At yung 2. So, ayan ang vertical asymptote natin. Ayan. Tapos pa ganyan siya. Oops. 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 Yan. Ganyan yung graph natin. So, moving on our last example for continuity. F of x is equal to 2x and 1.4x plus 6. So, ang x, if 0 is less than equal to x and x is less than equal to 10. And if 10 is less than x. So first we need to find the f of x. So, f of x is, we need to use this function. So, 2 times 10 is equal to 20. And our f of x is equal to 20. So, gagamitin natin sa left hand ay this function kasi ano siya, less than equal to 10. So, that will be limit of 2x. So, substitute lang ulit natin yung 10 sa may variable na x. And that will give us a 20. An answer 20. Tapos, substitute ulit natin yon 1.4x times 10. That will be, ayan, 1.4x. Substitute natin yung 10 sa variable x. 1.4 times 10 is equal to 14. Plus 6 is equal to 20. Ayan. So, therefore, limit of f of x as x approaches 10 exists and equal to f of 10. Therefore, c is continuous at 10. So, we have a continuity. Yes. So, sa unit 2 na tayo. Our first lesson is finding the derivative using three-step rule. The derivative of the function f is that function denoted by f prime, such that its value at a number x in the domain of f is given by f. The derivative is equal to derivative is equal to limit of f quantity x plus delta x as x. Ba't may ano dun? Mali ito. Wala po yung ano. Ano po siya? Minus. Minus. Typographical error lang. So, f of x plus delta x quantity minus f of x all over delta x as delta x approaches 0. So, our first step is we substitute all the value of f of x by this equation, then minus natin yung f of x. Second step, yon. Yung f of x plus delta x na yan, minus f of x, isasama na natin yung nasa baba. Tapos yung third step naman, hanapin natin yung limit as delta x approaches 0. So, let's have an example. Oops. Ayan. It's kinda messy down here. I hope you stay with me. So, ang first example natin ay x squared. So, finding the derivative of x squared using three-step rule. So, first step, x squared, substitute natin yung f of x. So, ang f of x natin ay x plus delta x. So, magiging delta x, quantity x plus delta x quantity squared kasi may squared yung natin, x. Tapos, i-minus natin yung f of x natin, which is yung x natin, x squared. Kasi ano yan f of x is equal to x squared. Yan. More visualize na. Minus na naman to. Minus po to. Minus. So, unang step natin ay i-simplify muna natin to. Squaring of binomial is x squared plus 2x delta x plus delta x squared minus x. So, may isi-simplify pa natin. I-minus natin yung x squared, yung dalawang x squared. I-minus natin. So, we have the simplified form here. Then, second step, isasama na natin yung denominator. Pag kasama natin denominator, quotient rule. Yes, quotient rule. Tatanggalin natin lahat ng delta x. Since ito ay delta x squared, babawasan natin yung ng 1. So, 2x delta x ang second step natin. So far, sagot sa second step. Sa third step naman, hanapin na natin yung limit. So, lahat ng delta x ay equal to 0. So, 2x plus 0 is equal to 2x. And that will leave us to our final answer, which is 2x. Next, our second example. F of x is equal to 5x cubed minus 15x plus 2. So, ano natin? Yung 5, nasa labas. Kasi, ito lang yun. Magiging x plus delta x cube minus 15. Substitute ulit natin yung x plus delta x. Tapos, plus 2 minus yung overall na f of x. That would be 5x cubed minus 15x plus 2. So, pag na-simplify na natin yung x plus delta x cubed, that will leave us sa x cubed plus 3x squared delta x plus 3x delta x squared plus delta x cubed. Kaya, makasasolve natin to using, pag alam nyo yung formula, pwede rin kayo gumamit ng tawag ito. Pwede kayong gumamit ng Pascal's triangle. So, that will be asa na tayo? 15x. Ano lang natin to. Oops, sorry. Inano lang natin to. Dinistribute lang natin to. So, that will be 15x minus 15 delta x. Tapos, plus 2 minus 5x minus 15x minus 2. Next, i-simplify pa natin. I-distribute natin yung 5 sa lahat ng to. And that will leave to 5x cubed plus 15x squared delta x plus 15x delta x squared plus 5 delta x cubed minus 15x minus 15 delta x plus 2 minus 5x cubed plus 15x minus 2. So, ano lang natin, combine like terms. So, tatanggalin natin tong negative 5x. Tapos tong tatanggalin ba natin to? Hindi. I will keep it. Itong negative 2, tanggal natin. 15 delta x. Tatanggalin ba natin? Hindi. 15x, tatanggalin natin. So, ang magiging sagot natin ay ito na lang mga natira. So, ang sagot ay 15x squared delta x plus 15x delta x squared plus 5 delta x cubed minus 15 delta x. So, tapos na tayo sa first step. First step pa lang yan. So, sa second step naman, lalagyan natin ang denominator. So, kakancel natin yung isang delta x kung meron man silang higher exponent. So, kakancel natin 15, magiging 15 na lang siya. Magiging 5 delta x squared na lang siya. Magiging 15 delta x 15x delta x. Tapos, ito naman, magiging 15x squared na lang. So, ito yung magiging sagot sa second rule. Second step rather. Next, third step, lahat ng delta x ay magiging equals to 0. So, ito, cancel na to. Cancel na yung term na yan. Tapos, itong term na din to, cancel na yan. Kasi equal na sa 0 yung variable nila. So, ito magiging sagot. Yung mga natira. 15x squared minus 15 as limit delta x approaches 0. So, yan. Yan ang magiging sagot. Final answer. So, move on to much harder. Joke lang. X raised to 4 plus x. So, basically, ganun ulit. X plus delta x raised to 4 plus delta x plus delta x. Yan. Ganyan yan, yung unang step. Tapos, simplify natin. Ito yung makukuha natin using Pascal's triangle. Kung mapapansin nyo yung Pascal's triangle, unang variable, pataas yung delta x, I mean yung x pababa from 4, 3 to 1, 0. Tama ba? Tama. Tapos naman yung delta x, pataas naman siya sa 1, 2, 3, I mean 1, 2, tama ba? 1, 2, 3 tsaka 4 to yan. Ayan. So, simplify natin. Combine like terms na naman. Tatanggalin ba natin si x? Yes, tatanggalin natin si x. Yan. Delta x, kikip ba natin? Kikip natin si delta x. Si negative x raised to 4, tatanggalin natin. Si delta x cube, tatanggalin din natin. Raised to 4 kasi yan. Raised to 4 kasi yan. Tatanggalin natin. Asan yung kapartner niya? Asan ka? Magpakita ka. Ay, tatanggalin ba natin? I'm quite sure. Tanggalin natin. Then, that will leave us to this. 4x cubed delta x plus 6x squared delta x squared plus 4x delta x cube plus delta x. So, ayan na yung first step natin. Second step naman. ano naman natin, di-divide na natin siya sa delta x. So, cancel. Minus 1 ka na. Minus 1 ka na din. Ikaw, cancel ka. So, ito yung answer natin sa second graph. Second rule. Step. 4x cubed plus 6x squared delta x plus 4x delta x squared plus 1. Kasi, delta x over delta x is equal to 1. Yan. So, third step. Tapos, ito yung second step natin. So, third step naman tayo. Magiging 4x cubed plus 6x squared. Kakapi lang natin tong nakuha natin. Ano ulit natin siya sa limit of delta x as delta x approaches 0. Lahat ng delta x magiging 0. Magiging 0 siya. 0 din siya. May squared nga lang. Pero magiging 0 pa din siya. Makakancel din ang term. Kaya 4x cubed plus 1 ang magiging sagot. So, dito naman tayo sa fourth example natin, which is 10x squared plus 69. 69, a very good number for a very good secret. So, gamitin natin tong formula natin. So, una, lahat ng x, substitute natin ng x plus delta x. So, that will be 10 quantity x plus delta x quantity squared plus 69 minus f of x, which is 10x plus 69, 10x squared plus 69 rather. Simplify natin. Maging simplify natin, ano natin siya. Ito muna pala. Perfect square binomial. X squared plus 2x delta x plus delta x squared. Then, next step, ano natin yung 10? Distribute natin yung 10. That will leave us 10x squared plus 20x delta x plus 20 delta x. 20 delta x. Wait, I think yan, 20x delta x siya. It doesn't matter kasi sa bandang huli naman ganun din maging sagot. Pero mas maganda ng tama. Then, ano natin siya, ito ika-cancel natin siya. I mean, terms. Ano natin terms. Negative din to kasi yung negative, inano natin, dinistribute kasi negative 1 yan. Negative 1 times negative 10, that will leave us negative 10x squared. Tapos, 69 minus times negative 1 is negative 69. So, our answer will be, cancel muna natin sila. Yan. Tapos ito, 20x po ito. 20 delta x po siya. Yan. Delta x squared. Ayan, yan. 20 delta x squared. So, that will be leaving us 20x delta x plus delta x squared over delta x. Ito na yung second, second step. Ito yung first step. Nakuha natin sagot. Then, ayan, ano na tayo? 20x delta x plus, ika-cancel ulit natin yan. Minus 1 na to. Ito, cancel na. So, ito yung makuha natin sagot sa second step. So, third step. Lahat ng delta x magiging 0. So, 0 na to. 20x plus 0 is equal to 20x. And that will leave us our answer for the derivative of 10x squared plus 69. So, fifth example, fifth and last for the 3-step rule of finding the derivative using 3 steps rule. So, substitute ulit natin. X plus delta x squared is equal to 2x. 2x plus delta x kasi may x na naman siya. Plus 9 and minus f of x, which is 14x squared plus 2x plus 9. 14, ano natin, yung una, ano natin siya, square root, is squared. I-square natin. X squared plus 2x delta x is equal to delta x squared. Yan, tapos distribute. Ganun din sa kabila, i-distribute din natin. Ito na, distribute Na-distribute na natin siya. 2x delta x plus, ano lang, yan, 2x plus 2 delta x lang. 2x plus 2 delta x. 2 delta x po yun. Lagi lang natatypo. I'm sorry po. Baguhin ko na lang po sa PPT ko. Then, 14x squared minus times 2 is equal to 28x delta x. Then, 14 times 1, 14 delta x squared. Plus, 2x plus delta x. Copy lang natin tong yan. Then, will give us, and this is our answer for the first step. So, moving on. Ito pala yung answer natin. Ito. Kasi na-cancel. Na-cancel na siya. Na-cancel ka na ba? Oh, yes, na-cancel ka na. You're cancelled. Cancelled na din to. Ba't nawala? Sabihin natin, na-cancel na siya. Kasi na-cancel na siya, na-typo lang siguro ako. Yan. And 14x squared, cancel na din. Yan. Ayun lang maging sagot natin. Yan. 2 delta x. 2 delta x yan. 2 delta x po yan. Yan, 2 delta x. Yan. So, we find the sa second step na tayo, which is we divide this one to delta x. So, ano natin? Cancel. That will be minus 1 of the exponent. Cancel natin siya. So, ito makuha nating sagot. 28x plus delta x plus 2. So, on the third and last step, ganoon ulit. Lahat ng ika-cancel natin. Maging 0 lang siya. Wala na siya sa term. 28x plus 2. Wala nang masisimplify, and that will be our final answer. So, we are now at differentiation formulas. So, the first theorem or rule, the constant rule of differentiation. If c is a constant and if f of x is equal to c for all x, then the derivative f prime of x is equal to 0. So, example dyan guys ay something like this. So, if we find the derivative of a constant, which is example 3, ang derivative niyan should be equal to 0. Ganun lang yun kasimple. Lahat ng mga constant, 1, 2, 3, 4, is equal to 0 pag hinanap niya na yung derivative. So, sa constant multiple rule naman, if f is a function, c is a constant, and g is the function defined by g of x is equal to c times f of x, then then f prime of x exists, g prime of x is equal to c times f of x. So, it looks like something like this. Ito yung general formula for constant multiple rule of differentiation. The derivative of c times x over n is equal to c times n times x over n. So, let's take a look at this example. 5x times 7. So, first things first, merong minus 1 dyan sa may exponent. So, ang mangyayari, where's my eraser? Ang mangyayari, 5x over 7, mangyayari, yung 7, ito times mo dito kasi naka-indicate, and times c. Ang c natin ay 5, and 7 is our exponent, n, which stands for n. Yan. 7 times 5. Tapos, babawasan natin to ng isa, yung 7. Kasi di ko na isulat na may negative 1 dapat doon. Sorry po sir, babaguhin ko na lang po sa PPT. Ayan. 5 times 7 is equal to 35x raised to 6. And that would be our answer. Next, dito naman tayo sa f of x is equal to 20 over x squared. So, ang mangyayari, f of x, pwede natin siyang i-rewrite like this, 20x raised to 2. Yan. Pwede natin yung ma-rewrite na ganyan. Then, pwede na natin siyang hanapan ng derivative using constant multiple rule. Excuse me. So 20 times 2, negative 2 is equal to 40 times n. Na times na pala natin. Times x minus 2. Sorry, minus 1. So, magiging sagot is 20 negative 40 x raised to 3. Yes. So, pag binalik na natin siya sa dating niyang form, that will be negative 40 over x raised to 3 or x cubed. So, move on to another example. Ayan. Tara, nandito na tayo sa sum and difference rule of differentiation. So, let derivative of f of x plus g of x is equal to derivative of f of x plus derivative of g of x. So the rule dito, let's have an example, which is f of x is equal to x cubed plus 1. So, we will find every derivative of the term which is set to our formula, So, that will be the derivative of x cubed and derivative of 1. So, the derivative of x cubed using the constant multiple rule, that will be 3x squared and plus 0. Hindi na natin siya i-write, and that will be our final answer, 3x squared. The next example, then f of x is equal to 10x cubed minus 10x. So, ganun ulit. I-find ulit natin yung derivative ng bawat term, whether it is on addition or subtraction. Ganyan lang. Pwede natin siyang i-stand. Ito yung u, tapos ito yung v. Ano siya? Constant for variables. Parang ngayon ay tumata yung term natin. So, the derivative of 10x cubed will be 30x squared. And the derivative of 10x is 10. So, ito yung derivative ng function na ito. Next example, ito naman. X squared, f of x is equal to x squared minus 9. Ganun ulit. Derivative of 2x, derivative of 9, 0. So, dito naman, kung magtataka kayo, sa tatlo yung ano natin, tapos dalawa yung nakasulat dito. Wait, let me read. The derivative of sum of a finite number of functions is equal to the sum of their derivatives if these derivatives exist. So, and the preceding theorem can be extended to any finite number of functions by mathematical induction, and this fact is stated to another theorem. From the preceding theorems, the derivative of any polynomial function can be found easily. Yon. So, sinasabi, pag ganun daw, dire-diretso pa din. Dire-diretso pa din i-derivative natin lahat ng term, whether it is an addition or subtraction. Wag lang multiplication at division. So, ang magiging sagot, 9x cubed, derivative of 9x cubed is 27x squared plus 2x squared. Ang derivative niya is 4. 4x. Ang derivative nito ay ng 19 ay 0. So, that will be our answer. And so, dito naman tayo sa product rule of differentiation or product rule of their derivatives. So, first, excuse me. Ang ating formula ay dy derivative of f of x times g of x is equal to f of x times the derivative of g of x plus g of x times the derivative of f of x. Or you can simply write like write it like u times the derivative of v plus v times the derivative of u. So, for example, ito yung ano natin. For example, this function. Hanapin natin yung derivative niya. So, u and v. Ito yung v. So, ano natin yung formula? Ito yung u. So, follow the formula. Pakat-pakat lang natin. So, y prime is equal to 2x, yung u natin, u is equal to u is 2x cubed minus 4x squared times the derivative of v, which is 3x raised to 5 plus x squared plus v again, 3x raised to 5 plus x squared times the derivative of u na ito. Yan. Tapos, ano natin, derivative na natin para ma-simplify na natin. Ang derivative ng 3x raised to 5 plus x squared ay 15x raised to 4 plus 2x. Tapos, ang derivative naman ng 2x cubed minus 4x squared ay 6x squared minus 8x. So, simplify natin. Using FOIL method, we have 30x raised, using FOIL method here, we have 30x raised to 7 minus 60x raised to 6 plus 4x raised to 4 minus 8x cubed. Tapos, sa kabila, ganun din, using FOIL method, we have 18x raised to 7 minus 24x raised to 6 plus 6x raised to 4 minus 8x raised to 3. Then, combine like terms, 30 plus 18 is 48x raised to 7 tapos negative 60 x raised to 6 plus negative 24x raised to 6 ay negative 84x raised to 6, tapos plus 4x raised to 4 tapos 6x raised to 4 ay equal to 10x, tapos 8x cube minus 8x cube ay negative 16x cube. So, ito na yung answer natin for the product rule of the derivative and the derivative of this function. So, ganoon. I-rewrite natin yung formula natin dito para di tayo malito. So, the derivative d over dx is equal to u times dv d over dx plus v du. Ganun lang tatandaan ko eh. uv plus v du. udv plus v du. Weird, pero it works. So, ito na tayo. X squared plus 2x plus 4 times 2x squared plus x, 6x. And find the derivative using power rule. I mean, product rule. So, u and v. So, ganun ulit. X squared plus 2x, u. Ito yung yun natin. Pakat natin sa una. Then, derivative of 2x squared. And yung derivative ng v natin, rewrite natin yung v. Tapos, hanapin natin yung derivative ng u. Ganun lang kasimple. Then, pag nahanap na natin ng derivative of 2x squared, that will be 4x plus 6, yung derivative ng 6x, derivative ng x squared plus 2x plus 4, that will be 2x plus 2. Then, simplify by multiplying these expressions. That will be 4x raised to 3 plus 14x squared plus 28x plus 24. Ano natin to? Tawag dito, distribution property. Ganun lang ginawa natin dyan. Then, sa kabila naman, FOIL method. And we get 4x raised to 3 plus 16x squared plus 12x. And that will give us this answer by combining like terms. Then, moving on to the next example. that will be negative 5x raised to 4 minus 2x squared quantity 2x minus 7. So, ganun ulit. Ano natin? Patandaan natin u tapos v. U dv plus v du. Okay? Negative 5x raised to 4 minus 2x squared. Derivative natin. Derivative ng v. Tapos copy v. Tapos derivative na naman ng u. Na eto 5x raised to 4. Yan. So, ang derivative ng 2x minus 7 ay simply 2. Tapos, ang derivative ng negative 5x raised to 4 minus 2x squared ay negative 20x raised to 3 minus 4x according sa constant multiple rule natin. Then, natin i-simplify, distribute, FOIL method, and that will give us our answer na negative 10x raised to 4 minus 4x squared plus negative 40x minus 8x squared minus 140x cubed plus 28x. And pag combine like terms na natin, and will give us negative 50x raised to 4 minus 140x cubed minus 12x squared minus 32. Wait. Yan. So, for the quotient rule of differentiation, wherein the derivative of f of x over g of x is equal to g of x derivative of f of x minus f of x times the derivative of g of x all over g of x quantity squared. So, we can also rewrite it as, wait, let me see my pen. Let me grab my pen. Like this one. U times v pala. Wait. V times u derivative minus u times derivative of y times the derivative of v over v squared. Yan. That's just simply it. Ito po yung u and ito yung v. Yan, ano natin. So, apply natin yung solution. U is substitute, v substitute ulit, yung v is ulit, v pala muna, v u v, baliktad siya, di katulad ng product rule kanina na uv vu. Ito naman vu uv, tapos merong sa baba, yun, tong v squared. So, mangyayari ganun lang rin, find the derivative. Ang pinagkaiba lang ay naka-minus to. So, ayan yun. Then, pagka nakuha mo na yung derivative, i-simplify mo. Tapos, pag may natira, and that will be our final answer, which is 12x, mali. 12x raised to 4 plus 40x cubed minus 18x squared plus 60x plus 54. And that will be our final answer. Ang pinaka main point lang sa quotient rule ay dapat alam mo yung pwesto ng formula. You need to know para hindi ka mahirapan. Syempre, derivative muna ng u, tapos derivative ng v. Yan. Ayun ang importante, guys. Bawat pagitan ng multiplication ng dalawang function natin, merong nakadikit ng derivative. Tapos, pag quotient rule, minus, tapos merong v squared sa baba. Yun lang. And, so, dito na tayo sa chain rule. If the function g is differentiable at x and the function f is differentiable at g of x, then the composite function f times g is differentiable at x, and f times g of x prime of x is equal to f prime of g of x and g times multiplied by g of x. So, let's have an example wherein, ang chain rule ay ginagamit pag ang function ay composite. Pag dalawang function ay katulad ng composite functions natin kanina, na dalawa yung ginamit, katulad ng f of g of x, katulad nito. Yan. Tapos, derivative. Ang pinakaiba lang ay naka-derivative ngayon. So, ang first step ay yung variable. Hanapin natin. Yan. 10. 10 of x. X raised to 10. Yan ang variable natin. Tapos, sa-substitute lang natin yung value ng f of, yan, 10. 10. Tapos, minus 1 yung variable. So, minus 1 na natin yan. Kaya, naging 9 na. So, yung g of x ay, 2x cubed minus 5x squared plus 4. I-substitute natin sa value ng g of x. Then, hanapin natin yung derivative ng g of x. So, that will be 6x minus 10x. So, ang final answer natin ay 10 times 10 quantity 2x cubed minus 5x squared plus 4 quantity 9 times 6x squared minus 10x. So, that will be our final answer. So, another example, let's suppose that h of x is equal to 2 over x minus 1 quantity raised to 5 and f of x is equal to x over 5 and g of x is equal to negative 2 over x minus 1. So, nakalagay na natin yung equation natin na gagamitin, which is this one. Ayan na, ayan yung h of x. H of x is equal to f of g of x. Nangyari na yan. Ayan na yung kinalabasan ng functions na to. Tapos, hanapin na lang natin derivative ng magkabilang ng dalawang functions. Ang derivative ng x raised to 5 ay 5x raised to 4. And derivative ng g of x ay negative 2 over x minus 1 raised to 2. Tapos, pag nakuha na natin yan, gawin na natin yung power rule na ginawa natin kanina. Ayun ay 5 times. So, sisimplify natin tong equation na to by multiplying this one to this one. Firstly, ito muna side na to. So, ang mangyayari, square ng 4, square root of 2 raised to 4 is equal to 16 over x minus 1 raised to 4. Tapos, meron 5 dito, 5 over 1 yan. Then, 5 over 1 is equal to, 5 over 1. Then, multiply natin. 5 times 16 is equal to 5 and 16 is equal to 80 over x minus 1 raised to 4. Tapos pwede na lang siyang i-multiply dito. So magiging sagot natin ay negative 160 over x minus 1 quantity raised to 6. Tapos dito naman tayo sa derivative of y. We need to find the derivative of y is equal to sine quantity cosine x. So, una, chain rule. We need to find the muna natin, what do you call this? Power rule. So, ang derivative ng cosine x ay sine x. Ang mangyari, kaya wala siyang katulad nung constant multiple rule natin, wala siyang exponent. So, magiging cosine na lang yung nasa unahan natin. Cosine times yung katulad ng rin sa may ibang value natin. Kaya, cosine x, quantity, negative sine x. Kasi ang derivative ng cosine x ay negative sine x. And that will be our final answer. Ito naman tayo sa find the derivative of y is equal to 3x squared plus 5 quantity 100. Quantity raised to 100. So, una, ano muna natin, copy natin to, lagay natin sa unahan, tapos bawas tayo ng isa. Ganyan ang shade rule, guys. Tapos, copy natin tong gitna. Ang mangyari, ganito, 100 plus 33, quantity 3x squared plus 5 raised to 100, quantity raised to 100 minus 1. Tapos, find natin yung derivative ng body, katawan niya. So, 3x squared plus 5, and the derivative of it is 6x. And, simplified, 100 plus 3x squared plus 5 raised to 99 times 6x. Tapos, pwede natin tong ipag-combine. Combine natin sila. So, that will be 600x, quantity 3x squared plus 5 raised to 99, and that will be our answer. So, dito naman tayo sa last example. Dito. Then, we find the f of x of 1 over 4x cubed plus 5x squared minus 5x, 7x plus 8. So, katulad ng ginawa natin kanina na may square root, pwede natin siyang i-rewrite as like this. Negative 1, 1 halves. 1. Ganyan. Pwede natin siyang, wala pala square root yun. Ito pala yung may square root. Fraction. Tapos, i-chain rule natin siya. Ganito ang mangyari. Yung negative 1, para maharap yung derivative dito, yung fraction na yan, tataas natin, gagawin natin raised to negative 1. So, copy natin yung exponent, lagay natin sa unahan, copy natin tong katawan, tapos, yung negative 1 niya, minus 1, mabawasan natin ng isa, negative 1, minus negative 1, we should be negative 2. Tapos, hanapin natin yung derivative ng katawan, ng constant. Tapos, i-simplify natin ang derivative nito ng 4x cubed plus 5x squared minus 7x plus 8 ay 12x squared plus 10x minus 7. So, ayan na yung final answer natin. Yung negative 1, i-distribute natin. Ibababa na natin. That will be negative 4x cubed plus 5x squared. Negative, yan, minus 7x plus 8 quantity squared. Pwede natin ilabas yung negative kasi negative 1 naman to eh. Ayan. This will be our final answer. Yan. Dito naman tayo sa higher order derivatives. So, ang higher order derivatives lamang ay basically, hanap ka ng isang derivative, then i-derivative mo ulit yung derivative na nahanap mo, which give you the second derivative, third derivative, and so on and so forth. So, let's have an example. Hanapin natin daw find yung derivatives ng function na ito. Wait, where's my pen? Function na to. So, f of x is equal to 8x raised to 4 plus 5x raised to 3 minus x squared plus 7. So, hanapin natin yung first derivative. Sum and difference rule of differentiation. Yun lang gagamitin natin throughout this equation kasi puro positive plus negative plus minus naman to eh. 32x raised to 3 plus 15x squared minus 2x ang kanyang first derivative. Tapos, i-derivative ulit natin. So, derivative ng 32x cubed ay 96x squared. Ng 15x squared ay 30x. Derivative ng negative 2x ay 2. Mali na naman ako. Excuse me. Tapos, hanapin ulit natin yung derivative para mahanap natin yung derivative niya. So, 192x ang derivative ng 96x squared. Tapos, 30x ay ang 30x and derivative niya ay 30. Tapos, ito na yung third derivative natin. So, for the fourth derivative, hanapin ulit natin yung derivative. Ito lang yung mahanap natin dyan kasi ito lang may variable and this will be equal to 0 since it's a constant. So, the fourth derivative ay 192. So, ang fifth derivative natin, which is 0 na kasi naging constant na yung 192 natin. So, the derivative f of n of x is equal to 0, then n is greater than equal to 5. So, yun ang answer natin. So, let's have another example. We need to find the second derivative of this function. So, we first gamitin natin yung pinakamadaling method, which is chain rule, para mahanap agad natin yung derivative. So, ang chain rule ay 2. Copy natin yung 2. Copy natin yung 2, tapos yung x squared plus x plus 1. Then, hanapin natin yung derivative nito. Tapos, minus 1 yung exponent. So, ang derivative ng function na to ay 2x plus 1. Then, for the second derivative na, hanapin natin ang gagamitin naman natin ngayon ay ang power rule of differentiation. So, ang mangyari, 2x plus 1 times the derivative of 2x plus 1. I mean ito yung u and this will be our v. Tapos, pwede natin itong isama. Yan, ano na sila. Kasi, iano lang naman natin yan eh. I-distribute. So, pwede natin silang isama sa equation. Pag sinama natin yung u tsaka v. Then, ang formula natin ng product rule ay uv prime plus v u prime. Tama ba? uv times v du. Yes, tama. I remember it now. Then, isalpak na natin sila. That will be 2 times quantity x squared plus x plus 1 times the derivative of 2x plus 1 plus 2 quantity 2x plus 1 times the derivative of 2x squared plus x plus 1. So, we will have 4x squared plus 4x plus 4 plus 2 quantity 4x squared plus 4x plus 1. Yan. Kasi, itong ano na yan. So, pwede natin itong i-distribute. Distribute natin yung 2 and will give us an answer na 4x squared plus 4x plus 4, 8x plus 8x squared plus 8x plus 2. Then, we simplify. So, 2 plus 4 is equal to 6. 4x squared plus 8x squared is equal to 12x. 4x plus 8x is equal to 12x. So, we can factor out 6. Factorable yung 12x squared plus 12x plus 6. Pwede natin ilabas yung 6. Tapos, ano natin? So, ang final answer ay 6 quantity 2x squared plus 2x plus 1. Okay, let's move on to another example. So, we need to find the second derivative of this function. Y is equal to square root of 1 minus 2xt plus t squared. Don't be, huwag kayong ma-mislead dahil ang t natin ay stands lang for a constant. So, that will be, gamitin ulit natin yung chain rule. Itaas muna natin itong function na to. Pwede natin siyang gawing y is equal to quantity 1 minus 2xt plus t squared over 1 half. Raised to 1 half. Yan, pwede yan. Tapos, yon, ang derivative ulit natin. It will be 1 half minus 2x t plus t squared raised to 1 half times the derivative of 1 minus 2xt plus t squared. So, ang ano natin, mangyari, ang derivative nitong part na to ay negative 2t. Tapos, pwede na natin siyang ibaba ulit. Yes. I-multiply natin itong ano. Ito lang matitira. Yung t squared lang. Ay, yung t lang. Kasi, 1/2 siya. So, our next step will be negative t over 1 minus 2xt plus t raised to 1/2. Tapos, let's work on this para malitan tayo sa answer. Then, the next move will be negative t multiplied by negative t over what they call square root 1 minus 2x plus t squared over 1 minus 2xt plus t squared. So, our final answer, kaya naging 3.5 yan kasi meron pa tayong negative 1 na i-minus sa exponent. So, our answer will be y prime is equal to t squared minus over 1 minus 2xt plus t squared all raised to 3 over 2. For the next step, for the next one, we need to find the first and second derivative of this function. So, for the first derivative, iangat ulit natin yung 1 minus x cubed. Pwede natin maging x raised to negative 3. So, find the derivative. Negative 3 is negative 3x minus 4. Kasi, copy natin to. Ilagay natin sa tabi ng x. Tapos, minus 1 natin yung exponent. Chain rule lang ulit. Ganun lang din sa second derivative. Chain rule lang ulit yung gagamitin natin. That which leads us to 12x minus 5. Pwede rin siya maging form na gantong form. 12 over x raised to 5. Pero mas maganda na ganito para paghanapin mo yung third derivative, hindi mo na gagawin mo lang ulit na ganyan, mahihirapan ka pa. So, pwede rin yung ganun, pero kung masipag ka, why not, di ba? Tapos, our next example, find the third derivative of this one. So, of this function. So, ano ulit natin? Chain rule. Copy natin, minus 1, copy, then the derivative of this body, which is yan, derivative. Hanapin natin derivative niyan, which is negative 2. So, negative 2, then ito na yon. Yan na. Product rule na lang ulit. Pwede natin lagyan ng 3 ulit dito sa pagitan. Para yan. Kasi imo-ano lang natin siya. Okay. Then, natin, derivative of negative 2, that is 0, 2, 2, 2. And you can work with that and you can practicing and maybe you will understand it and practice para makuha mo, ma-practice ka. Yes, let's practice, makuha mo. Excuse me. So, pag sinimplify na natin tong equation na to, makukuha na natin yung that will be 24 minus 48x plus 3. Then, pwede natin siyang i-simplify pa. That will be it na, this one. Then, our third derivative, finding the third derivative. So, finding the third derivative, that will be the derivative of this one, constant. Babawasan lang natin yung variable. That will be the derivative of y is equal to quantity 1 minus 2x raised to 3 is equal to negative 4t8, the third derivative. So for our last topic, which is implicit differentiation, an implicit function may be represented by the equation f of x and y is is equal to 0, to find the derivative or y prime of an implicit function, we differentiate both sides of the equation with respect to x and then solve for derivative or y prime. The process involved is called implicit differentiation. So let's have an example. So find the implicit y prime using implicit differentiation of x squared plus y squared is equal to 3x 36 rather. So first step, derivative muna natin sila, itong buong to derivative muna natin, and that will be 2x. And take note, every time nagagalawin na i-derivative natin yung y, meron siyang lalabas na y prime. Yes. So 2x plus 2y y prime is equal to 0. So ang gagawin natin, i-lowest form muna natin siya, and that will be x plus y y prime. Then para mahanap natin yung y prime is ano muna natin is i-transpose yung x, and that will be y y prime is equal to negative x. Tapos pag nagawa na natin yon, pwede na nating i-cancel yung y prime equal to negative x. Cancel natin yung y para maiwan yung y prime, and y prime is equal to negative x over y. Ayan na yung answer natin. Yan. And let's have an example naman. Again, ganun din, same method. 3x squared, pag derivative nito, 3x squared plus 3y squared, tapos nagalaw na naman yung y, meron na naman tayong y prime. So derivative ng 9 is equal to 0. Then lowest form ulit natin, makuha na natin to kasi nilowest form natin using 3. Yan. Then x squared plus i-transpose natin yung x squared. Tapos pag na-transpose na, negative x squared na yon. Then ulit natin, i-cancel natin yung y squared para maiwan yung y prime. Y squared, y squared. Yan, cancel. Lipat natin kay x squared. And nasa baba na nga si y squared. So, ang ating answer ay y prime is equal to negative x squared over y squared. So, paano naman to? Pag hinanap naman natin yung second derivative nung kanina, which is, let's take a look. Ito. This one. Hanapin na natin second derivative nito. Gagamitin lang natin yung this one. Ito. Pero, take note pa din yung mga yan. Especially this one and this one. Yan yung mga kailangan natin kung sakaling may palabas natin yung equation na to and yung term na to. So, dito na tayo. Yan. So, na natin gagawin ulit. Find the derivative of all terms. So, derivative nito, ginalaw natin si y prime. You see? Ginalaw natin ulit si y prime. Ginamit natin yung power rule, di ba? So, that will be 2y prime times y prime plus y squared. Anong derivative ng y prime? That will be second derivative of y. Siguro, dalawa yan. Y tapos dalawang prime. Joke lang. So, natin, simplify. Y prime times y prime will be y prime squared. So, y squared plus y prime squared plus y squared quantity y second derivative is equal to 0. So, ita-transpose natin yung ito para maiwan yung negative 2x. Ita-transpose natin, tapos itong lahat na to, yan, mali, I mean ito, wait, linisin nga natin this one, yan, transpose natin sa other side para maiwan yung y second derivative, kasi y second derivative na hinahanap natin yan. Pagka-transpose natin, ito na yung magiging equation. Kasi, kinansel na natin tong y squared. May y squared na tayo sa baba. Then, so, andito na tayo sa equation na to. This one. Ayan. Ito. This. So, ang mangyayari dyan, yung negative x squared over y squared na yan ay kinalabasan ng y prime. Kasi yung y prime natin kanina ay, ayan, asan ba yun? Ayan, negative x squared over y squared. Yan ang y prime natin. Isa-substitute lang natin yung value ng y niya sa y prime. So, moving on. Yan. Yan na tayo. So, ang mangyari, pwede na nating i-cancel out, i-factor out yung negative para maging 2x plus y over, yan. I mean, this one. So, may typo dito guys. Y raised to 4 pa din yan. Then, pagkatapos yan, pwede na nating i-factor out yung y, 2y, sa dito. And, addition of fractions ang ginawa natin dyan. Kaya, nakuha natin yung equation na ito. So, since factorable yung y na to, pwede natin siyang i-factor out. Then, ang matitira na lang ay 2x raised to 4 over y cubed over y squared. Then additions of fractions ulit ang mangyayari. Kaya naging 2xy cubed plus 2x raised to 4 over y cubed all over y squared. Don't forget the negative there, guys. So, pagkatapos nun, sorry, pwede nating i-factor yung 2xy prime ay y raised to 3 plus 2x raised to 4 by tatanggalin natin yung 2. So, 2x. So, that will be 2x negative, kasi may negative dito, don't forget, plus 2x raised to 4. Wait, kapangin naman sulat ko. Negative 2x quantity 2x, y cube plus x cube. Kasi, ayun yung natin, di ba? Yung variable na y cube. So, pag nakuha na natin yan, mapapansin nyo yung y cube plus x cube ay may katumbas yan. At yun yung nasa kabilang natin. Yung pinakauna. Which is, eto yun. Y cube plus x cube. Pero parehas lang naman sila ng and that will be equal to 9. So, dugtong-tugtong lang siya guys, pero mahaba lang talaga. Pero, it is what it is. What can you do, di ba? So, eto na yon. Y second derivative is equal to negative 2x times 9 over y cube. So, our second derivative will be negative 18x over y cube. Ayan ang final answer natin guys. Moving on, let's take another example, which is x squared plus y squared equal 36. So, let's find the first derivative. Meron din tayong method na ginaganto wherein d over dx naman yung gagamitin natin, which instead of y prime. So, first things first, hanapin muna natin yung derivative ng lahat ng to. So, the derivative of x squared, derivative of y squared, derivative of 36. So, ang derivative ng x squared ay 2x, derivative ng y squared ay 2y. So, ginalaw natin yung y, magkaroon tayo ng derivative. So, derivative ng 36 ay 0 kasi ay constant. Alam natin lahat yan. So, una, muna natin, pwede nating i-transpose agad si 2x. Kaya, 2y over derivative of dy over dx equal to negative 2x. So, pwede na, natin siya. Pwede na natin siyang i-factor out yung 2 para yung dy over dx na lang yung matira. So, i-factor out natin yan. Mabibigyan tayo ng negative 2x over 2y. Then, lowest form, Then that will lead us to our answer, final answer, negative x over y. Then let's go to our final example for implicit differentiation. So first things first, we find the derivative of each term. So the derivative of y squared, 2y y prime, 5y prime kasi ginalaw natin yung y, nagkaroon tayo ng derivative. So 4x squared ay 8x and 3x ay 3 and 5 is 0. Then we ihiwalay natin yung may y prime tapos yung x. So that will leave us to 2y y prime plus 5y prime equals negative 8x minus 3. So pwede natin i-factor out yung y prime. Pwede natin i-factor out yung y prime na that 2y na ganito, 2y plus 5. Yan, edi nakahiwalay na yung y prime natin. Yan, 2y plus 5 tapos is equal to negative 8x. Ito, negative 8x minus 3. So, ika-cancel na natin yan and that will leave us to this answer. Y prime is equal to negative 8x minus 3 over 2y plus 5. And that's it. That's it. That's it for this presentation, and I hope you learned something and you enjoyed, and thank you for watching and everything. Have a nice day and good luck further in life.